the talk that started it all. So, this one is the talk that started it all. It is the talk about social media. Initially, it started with discussions with friends about the negative side of social media. And what I mean by the negative side of social media was people relating to it through insecurity, as using it as evidence that they weren't good enough or that they had something to achieve before they'd be okay. Using it as a platform to compare themselves to people, essentially. And not even compare themselves to people, compare themselves to an incredibly edited highlight reel, and then mistaking that for somebody's actual life, and somebody's feeling for life. So it's easy to look at someone's page and be like, wow, they have such a beautiful page, look at how beautiful they are, look at all these beautiful photos, look at how many followers they have, and then assume that they have that level, that degree of beauty infused in their experience of life. So that's how it all started. And that wasn't sitting with me perfectly. There was something in that I kind of went, I don't want to just like rip on this, and I don't want to come across as putting social media down. And I don't want to just try to point to that when we're in a good mood, we can look at these things and it's okay. When we're in a bad mood, it's a good excuse to compare ourselves. I didn't want to just talk about that. And so I finally came to what does it take for it to be a really positive thing, right? To be a platform where you can appreciate and learn and share and engage. And I think what that starts with is a part of what that first talk would have been that I was pondering doing, and that is recognizing that we can use objects in our world to fuel insecurity, but they don't cause insecurity. And we can use the same object to fuel anything, really, right? We can have a totally connected feeling and look at photos of friends and just feel like, wow, isn't it beautiful that there's like all these amazing humans on this planet that are doing the things they love. And so that recognition is really interesting to me. That recognition that it's not life out there that makes us feel anything. And so how do you have a beautiful experience of social media and of life, really? How do you fall into a nicer and nicer, more beautiful experience of life, which I think is what we want from the things we pursue. I think that, like, if I want a bigger house, I think that the reason that might look compelling to me is because it looks like my potential for happiness will be higher in a bigger house. And I could have a nicer feeling day to day, right? So in the context of social media, if I had more followers, or if I had more engagement or that sort of thing, I would have fewer insecurities on my mind, and life would be more beautiful, which is, I really think, what everybody wants at the end of the day, is to live in a beautiful world. And so the question is, do we need to achieve those goals in order to have those feelings? Or to take it a step further, is there any correlation at all between those goals and those feelings? um, and and having talked to one of my friends who, uh, in the context of social media, had hit his following goal, and then life was still kind of just life, and then he set a bigger goal, and life was still kind of life, and realized that, oh, that's not where those feelings come from. That's not the answer, right? And I think as soon as we start to see that, then we can have a positive relationship with anything. We can have a beautiful experience of anything. And so let's take somebody who goes, okay, so feelings go up and down, and then there's life or social media. There's not a cause and effect relationship between these. However, I don't know how to find a nicer feeling inside myself to go live my life from. It looks like I need to do all these things in my life still before, there's these things I want, there's these things I'm worried about. Well, what if this happens? I can't just sit there and feel nice. All these concerns. How can I find that feeling? And the way I've been seeing it recently is within anything that I want, which includes moving away from things, like I want not that. With any feeling compulsion in my world towards and away from objects, goals, desires, the feeling is in there. And that's what I think I'll get if I get it's wrapped in the illusion of the object, but the feeling's right there. And if I'm able to just see that, then I'm done. Really. So right now, I have the thought, well, what if this doesn't come through? What if someone watching this goes, I don't get it? And it was a little bit of like a worry. And when I saw that, underneath that, like that came out of what I'm looking for. So I have this worry, of what if they don't get it, and part of that is, well, if they do get it, then everything will be okay and I'll be right here. So it's right there in that thought. And I guess you could ask, well, what if they don't get it? Right? What if your worry was really onto something? And I guess I'll just try again. I guess I'll just try again. But it's not a problem, and it doesn't. No part of that story needs to take me out of having a beautiful life. It can be beautiful, not that someone doesn't get it or that I'm not able to get this across, but that circumstance isn't a context where I need to feel badly. I can still be peaceful and have that be the circumstance, and then look at it and go, okay, let's try again. Or with goals, to put it on the other end, well, what if I don't get the thing? What if I don't um, what if I don't achieve the goal? Well, the only reason I want to achieve the goal is to give me a sense of completeness, which will allow me to stop thinking about something I need to complete myself, But underneath that goal initially is the feeling that I think I'll get from the goal. It's like this riddle comes up and demands a solution before it'll get out of my face. And if I see that what it promises me is where it came from, then there's no distance between me and what it's promising me if I solve it. And then from there, I I don't need to accomplish anything to get something I already have. Like, it's not scary to think I wouldn't accomplish that thing. I might end up finding my way there. I might end up finding my way somewhere else. But the whole time I'll have what I had hoped to achieve if I got that goal. And so the whole time I do have that more beautiful world that I'm living in. It's just right here, right now.